in the matchup of the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. Well, it's going to be all Pittsburgh, but the Browns have at least made games interesting, and I'd expect that to continue. Mayfield's figuring things out. He's definitely not a fantasy play. I mean, if somebody wants to stash him on their roster just because they're a Browns fan, fine. But he'll have good games now and again, but not with any sort of consistency. So let's stop talking about Baker Mayfield in fantasy. Nick Chubb is the real story here. With the trade going down, Carlos Hyde getting the heck out of the way, Nick Chubb is going to be the number one back. That doesn't really matter in this game, though. Pittsburgh's going to be ahead by a lot most of the game. So Nick Chubb is going to be running back 2, flex conversation. If he's your number one option, I'm sorry. Jarvis Landry, though, going to have himself a game. Receiving targets for the Browns are going to get, they're going to get a lot. They're going to get a lot of action. They have to keep up with that very, very fast-paced offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think anybody else has been consistent enough as a target for Mayfield to really be in any sort of valid fantasy conversation. So Nick Chubb, kind of a tier 2 running back in this matchup, and Jarvis Landry is definitely going to be a wide receiver 2. He would be a wide receiver 1, but Mayfield's just too inexperienced right now. On the Pittsburgh side of things, if you got James Conner to handcuff Le'Veon Bell, great job. Guy's been fantastic, and it's going to continue. If anybody thinks Le'Veon Bell is actually coming back to play this season, they're fooling themselves. At the beginning of the season, James Harrison laid out exactly what he thought Le'Veon should do, and that was wait until there's only 6 games left so you can technically be on the team for those 6 games, but fake an injury. He'll still get credit for his seasons accrued towards free agency, and he won't have to play it down for a team he no longer wishes to actually do business with. So, James Conner, stud running back, a number 1 option. I don't care who else you have. Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be in the wide receiver 3 to flex conversation. And Antonio Brown, he's not been what we wanted him to be this season because of all the turmoil that's going on in Pittsburgh, but he's still a stud. So wide receiver 1-2 borderline. Vance McDonald is starting to emerge as a consistent tight end target. It's a weak year for tight ends, so he's a good option in this game as well. It's going to be all Pittsburgh. So depending on how early they get that big lead, it might actually reduce the number of targets that the top flight receiving talent gets. So this is kind of a Vance McDonald sort of game. I'd put him in as a tight end if you're weak in the position. You're not starting him over the Ebrons, the Jimmy Grahams, the Kelseys, and the Gronkowskis of the world. But I can't think of many other players that are guaranteed better than him. So he's going to be a good option for most leagues. He's available in most leagues. So pick him up.